Good day and good morning to those of you from Americas and good evening to those of you from Asia. I'm so happy to see this many participants to this webinar from all over the world. Welcome to the webinar, today's webinar on energy efficient water treatment and water reuse that we will co-present together with Aqualia from Spain. The webinar will be in English, but there will also be an option for Spanish translation, and you should already have been prompted that option and made your selections. Today, I will go through first practical introduction, but also an introduction to the speakers and what you can expect from today's webinar. Thereafter, we will introduce the two companies, and we will take a deep dive into the Aquaporin technology, our membrane series Clear, and the applications. Thereafter, we will share a case story from Singapore PUB, and also our case story together with Aqualia on drinking water and water reuse in Spain. We will end the webinar with a summary and a Q&A session. Before I present the speakers, I'll just give you a few practical information. You can ask questions in the Q&A box during the webinar. We will take note of all the questions and try and sort them and answer as many as possible. Those questions that we don't have time to answer, we will answer those in a separate mail that will be sent to all the participants in the webinar. We will also share the presentation afterwards with you guys. If there are any issues, please use the chat function to write if there's issues with the sound or video, etc. Okay, I'm very proud to have with me today Dr. Jan Benneke, Head of Commercial Engineering Reverse Osmosis at Aquaporin. Jan has an environmental engineering background and more than 15 years of experience in application and research and development of membrane and water treatment processes. He's been with Aquaporin for almost 6 years. We're also very proud to have Dr. Victor Monsalvo Garcia with us. He's Head of Eco-Efficient Innovation and Technology at Aqualia and leads an active team on wastewater treatment, reuse, biowaste, biogas management processes involved in drinking water and desalination at Aqualia. He has a PhD in chemical engineering and an impressive career that includes 10 years with the University of Autónoma de Madrid and also 8 years with Aqualia. Myself have a long career within international sales and diplomacy, and I've been with Aquaporin for 4.5 years and is responsible for business development and sales. Today you will get insights into how to optimize municipal drinking water and water reuse. This through enhancing energy efficiency, which leads to savings in OPEX and CAPEX. And we'll also share our experiences with the collaboration in Spain on municipal drinking water and water reuse together with Aqualia. And you will also learn more about the Aquaporin Inside technology, our membrane series Clear, and also the different applications that you can use them for. All in all, you'll gain knowledge on how the clear membranes can elevate your water treatment and reuse practices. Aquaporin is a Danish membrane company with its roots in biotechnology. We are listed on the Danish Stock Exchange, Nasdaq Copenhagen, and have operations here in Denmark, where our headquarters is just outside of Copenhagen, and our offices in Singapore, Turkey, China, and the United States. We're a little less than 100 employees with more than 20 different nationalities, so a very diverse company for its size. Our core technology, the Aquaporin Inside technology, is applied in a number of applications and in all our membranes. The main business focus we have is on drinking water, industrial water, and food and beverage. Now I'd like to give you a bit of background of how it all started. Well, back in 2003, the American scientist, Mr. Peter Agra, was awarded a Nobel Prize for his discovery of the aquaporin protein and its function in nature. That inspired our founder, Peter Holme, to found the company in 2005, based on the technology of Peter Agra's discovery. The protein that we are working with has 1 billion of years of evolution and has made the aquaporin's protein super efficient and super selective in treating water, far better than any man-made filter. By incorporating the aquaporins into our membranes, we enable faster and more efficient cleaning of water than ever before. Our first customer, and we're very proud of this, was NASA, and they are also one of our partners. They're testing our technology in space for greywater, and actually the Danish astronaut Andreas Mogensen is the captain on the current mission and has just recently tested our technology in space. We have many such partnerships with universities, industries, and end customers, and Aqualia is one of these partners that we have worked with for a number of years. Now I'd like to give the word to Aqualia, to Dr. Victor. And if you could please take over the control. Yeah.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Solon, for your kind and very nice introduction and organizing this webinar today. We just some words on Aqualia, our perspective, and on our position in the water sector. Our main core activities are summarized in the slide, and now we're showing. We do the treatment and the management of the public services together with municipalities and other water entities, and basically in municipal concessions. We do also operation and maintenance services in the water cycle processes, everything you can imagine around water. The infrastructure concessions, the BOT type contracts, take or pay mechanisms, and also the APC models until the construction phase is completed. Just some numbers to give you a better idea about the volume of Aqualia. We give our services for a population of roughly 44 million people in 18 countries, and now we manage the cycle in more than 2,000 municipalities, and also including infrastructures, relevant infrastructures like more than 260 drinking water plants, more than almost 900 wastewater treatment plants, 30 desalination plants worldwide, as you can see now in our presence in different geographies. Basically, we are a Spanish company in principle, but we do activities in Europe, also Middle East and North Africa, South America, and also now in USA. Well, our scope and objectives are related to the triple sustainability, the very well-known triple sustainability: environmental, social, and economic, of course. And we also, it's part of our DNA to protect the environment and improving the management of the water cycle with these 3 pillars of our strategy: sustainability, digitalization, and technology. And as you've seen in the previous slide, also internationalization. We have the Innovation and Technology Department, where we are fully committed in this innovation projects. It's very well known our strategy in open innovation, collaborating with numerous entities, including universities, research organizations, companies, and also public entities, to develop new solutions or integrate new solutions to give the better quality of our services to our clients. Right now, we are carrying out 18 projects, basically European projects, more than 15 European projects. More international projects are in the pipeline and coming very, very soon. Our activity in the Innovation and Technology Department based on these 6 pillars: the improvement of conventional existing wastewater treatment plants, including actions on energy optimization, the development of new processes for water reuse, especially in those highly stressed water areas, energy recovery, again related to energy, and give the benefits to the clients in terms of reduction of carbon footprint, also energy consumption. Circular economy is also one of our pillars, trying to gain and valorize the real value of water in terms of resources and recovery of energy. Desalination, including water reuse, is also included in our portfolio, and also environmental protection with different technologies. And we cover basically these SDGs. That's all from our side. So, thank you.
Oh, we're unmuted. Classic one. Well, welcome everyone from my side. Thank you, Victor, and thanks for the introduction, Søren. I will continue talking a little bit about the Aquaporin Inside technology and our CLEAR series, and then also some of the applications that we have explored and piloted together with PUB. And then Victor will, as mentioned already, conclude with the examples that we have done in collaboration with Aqualia. So going back to the Aquaporin, what it's all about, our company name, and Søren has mentioned it a couple of times. On the left-hand side of the graph, of the slide here, we demonstrate, or we show how the aquaporin protein works in nature. And aquaporin proteins are part of every living cell. So every human being, every animal, every plant, they all have aquaporins in their cell structure of the individual cells. So it's a transmembrane protein, and Søren has mentioned it. It's been developed over billions of years, and it's very, very efficient in transporting water, and only water. So it cannot pass anything else but water. So our founder, Peter Holmer, after that aquaporin was discovered, he thought about using that in engineered system and membrane and filtration to make water treatment even more efficient than it is today. And we do that by, first of all, producing the aquaporin protein in large scale. That's a fermentation, a biotechnological process. We do that here in Denmark. And we are the largest producer of aquaporin transmembrane proteins. And then we take that protein, and that's been the long development in the company here, and we convert it into something that we can use in our membranes. And here we use an artificial cell, we call them vesicles, made out of polymers, where these aquaporin proteins are then incorporated. And then that vesicle that's spiked with many aquaporin proteins is then incorporated into our reverse osmosis membranes, also the forward osmosis membranes, essentially all the products that we develop and commercialize here at Aquaporin. Besides that protein or biological part, obviously we can also work with the chemistry and the physics of the membrane, but our toolbox has one more element in it, and that's the biological, the aquaporin protein part. So one product series that we have developed and launched that incorporates this Aquaporin Inside technology is our brackish water clear series. Obviously, we have thought about the name and what clear means, and our clear membranes, we call them high capacity, low energy, advanced reverse osmosis membranes. And we have developed them and offer them in any standard industrial size for our industrial applications. So that's 4-inch and 8-inch standard sized membranes. And essentially they look and work like normal membranes. But what we do offer and what we have managed to achieve is we can deliver best in class membrane fluxes or permeability. So the throughput or the efficiency of our membranes are extremely high. Still, you get great contaminant or salt rejection, because that is essentially why you're doing the reverse osmosis treatment. And then obviously we need to be able to deliver reliable and robust, stable performance. And also that is something that we can demonstrate and have validated. We have a series of membrane or brackish water products that cover essentially the entire brackish water range, from very low to very high rejection requirements. So we start with our Clear Eco or Eco. In this graph here, it's indicated it is the product with the lowest rejection in our product range. And obviously that can be operated then at the lowest operating pressure and potentially give you the highest energy saving. And then we move up in the line through the Ultra, the Plus, our Plus FR, which is an especially fouling resistant membrane that we have specifically treated for high fouling applications. And then the Classic membrane, which is, as the name says, your classic brackish water membrane, as I would say back in the days, so your standard product. All of these products are available, as I said, in 4-inch and 8-inch, each in 2 different sizes. So 400 and 440 square feet for the 8-inch, for example. And all this information can be found on our webpage. So we have a product brochure, but we obviously also have the individual data sheets and a user guide and so on for our products. For the ones who are familiar with 8-inch products, just an example, our Clear Eco, for example, at the low energy 500 ppm, 100 psi or 6.9 bar operation, it can deliver 15,000 gallons per day, which is pretty high compared to industry standards. We have done external evaluation, and that's something we'll talk about in just a few seconds, but obviously we also looked into our products ourselves. So we've done a lot of in-house internal evaluation. And one example is a benchmark study where we have sourced products from market leaders from US, Japan, Korea, China. And we have all run them at the same operating conditions. Here, we wanted to see what is the pressure required, the operating pressure required to generate 2,000 gallons per day for, let's say, a small light industrial commercial system. And the take-home message, or what you can clearly see here, is in that graph showing the rejection and the feed pressure, that whatever rejection you need, first of all, you can find a product in our portfolio. And if you need, let's say, a rejection of 98%, for example, you can achieve that with our Clear Ultra, and you can do that at significantly lower pressure than some of the competitor products that we list here. Now, suitable applications are essentially anything you would do with brackish water membranes, but we do highlight a few, such as demineralization of rinsed water or makeup of and processed water, so water recycling, reuse applications. Municipal drinking water is something that Aqualia also obviously looks into a lot. And then as we have high capacity, high output membranes for compact commercial smaller installations, this is also quite interesting. Now we have a projection tool. We call it, developed in combination or in collaboration with a company called Clear. It's free to sign up and it's free to use. So I encourage everyone who's interested to sign up. The link is shared here, aquaporin.clear.com. And it allows you to design any RO process in pretty much any industry standard configuration. It's an online tool, so it easily or very intuitively guides you through the individual design processes, and then you end up with either an online visualization of your design or you extract an Excel or a PDF file, just as you're used to from other softwares. Now I'd like to finish with a case story that we've done together with the PUB, the Public Utility Board, which is the National Water Authority in Singapore. We've collaborated with the PUB for many, many years by now. And one of the challenges they have is water recycling or water reclamation. So they do have to recycle water to meet their water demands. And that's a quite energy intensive process. And obviously any percent saving in energy is of high financial and also ecological value. So the challenge here was to go into a water reclamation plant and to demonstrate that our membranes, our clear brackish water membranes, can reduce the energy consumption by 20 to 30%. So we went into a piloting study and installed a pilot system that had a capacity of 100 cubic meters per day. We operated on 4-inch membranes in a 2x1 two-staged configuration, 21 elements in total, operated at 75% recovery minimum, a design flux of 70 LMH, and the feed water was an already treated wastewater with an MBR. So an MBR permeate is what was fed into our system and then polished by RO. We did do a monthly clean in place, and the system was operated throughout a period of about 3 months. And we just saw a little bit of data here, but the main takeaway here is we have benchmarked against 2 competitor products, a very standard one shown here in black, and then a low energy product from a competitor. And then in blue here is our clear plus in this case. And the first graph here shows the inlet pressure, feed pressure requirement. And you can clearly see that the required pressure to operate and generate the required output is significantly lower for our clear plus membrane. We have also managed to keep the pressure drop across the vessels in the 2 stages comparably low through element design with our partners. And then the main takeaway here is that, yes, we did achieve to save energy. We did save a lot of energy compared to the standard product, as shown in black. But then compared to a low energy state-of-the-art product from competitors, we still demonstrate about 20 to 30% energy saving. And in blue here, our product also demonstrated to be very stable and very robust through the cleanings and the operation of the 3 months. So overall, that was very promising. And obviously, what we also needed to deliver was a very strict permeate water quality. And that's just, it's a big table, but it's just to demonstrate that we did look at a lot of parameters that are listed here, all requirements from PUB, and we did meet all the target values. So also the permeate quality was very satisfactory here. And with that, I will ask Victor to take control again and continue with the Aqualia presentation. Now remember to unmute.
Thank you. Well, it's time now to share with you a little bit of the results that we have created in the story together between Aquaporin and Aqualia. And a little bit of the story, it started in 2016. And I want to stress here the value of creating these connections with conferences, etc., and that put in common our results and advances in the innovation and technology, research and development from academia, research centers, and other organizations, and also the companies working together. In that time, we met Aquaporin. We knew about this eventually new potential solution in the market. At that time, we started just to discuss about the potentialities of the technology, taking into account the basis of the fundamentals of the solution that Søren and Jen have presented today. And then after that, we said, okay, let's go for the concept node and a concept proof of concept, with a very, very tiny, small membrane at that time. It was like the size of a pencil, as we saw there. And we did that trial with specific compounds that we wanted to include in the trial. And at that time, yes, the results were very satisfying, very promising. And it took 2 years until having the commercial membranes already in the market at Aquaporin now they can offer us. Then we decided to take the risk or to go for the first movement and having the first industrial validation worldwide. It was in Puerto de la Cruz in Tenerife in the Canary Islands. And we had the opportunity to test for the first time these membranes in a real environment with real water and with a real problem. And the objective and the challenge was very important and interesting to us because it was the comparison with these new membranes that were compared with other commercial and very well established and known commercial membranes at that time. It was for a specific application that we will show after that. Well, this is the starting point for the operation at big scale or commercial scale in real life projects. And then I also would like to highlight that after that, having the first movements and demonstrating to the water sector the beauties of the membranes, then in 2021, Global Water Intelligence presented this news about the consideration of Aquaporin as one of the extraordinary advances and early stage technology at that time, considering Aquaporin and other membranes. It's also important to discuss, and we really and we really appreciate that we want to express our gratitude to the European Commission that they gave us the opportunity to gain resources necessary to run all the demonstrators that we are going to present. And thanks to the RealWise project, where we are collaborating together, we have all these resources. The RealWise project, as few words, is one of the most relevant European projects among the 5 projects that the European Commission approved 2-3 years ago. This is one of the largest. We created these 3 hubs in these 3 geographical regions of distribution all around Europe, and we created 5 living labs to demonstrate all the solutions, technologies, and other aspects that we proposed as a consortium. So this created the framework, let's say, to boost our collaboration between Aquaporin and Aqualia. At the end, resources are obviously very important. Well, we created a plan to evaluate the membranes in 3 main applications. Is how we have prepared the presentation. We will start discussing about the applications in drinking water and desalination. Then we will discuss about water reuse and also applications for industry. So as you can see, we have listed all the initiatives that we have already started. Some of them actually have evolved to full-scale projects, but as you can imagine, starting from this pencil-sized membrane, we have passed through the pilot and the roadmap, typical roadmap that you can imagine in the scale-up of the solution, trials, pilots, and in different applications. So this is a summary. Let's start with the first application, with drinking water and desalination. I also have to highlight that all the applications that you will see during the next slides are always looking for or treating moderate waters with moderate salinity. This is now the scope and the main objective of the applications that we have evaluated with Aquaporin. Well, this is the pioneer project in Puerto de la Cruz. As I mentioned before, the first industrial scale application of Aquaporin membranes worldwide. The problem in that specific site is the presence of nitrate. is also is not specific for this site. As you know, as professionals in the water sector, nitrate is a split and a very well-known problem worldwide, and increasing this problem according to all the information that we have access. This is something that is being detected in more and more sites. Actually, in Puerto de la Cruz, there were some limitations for the consumption. Pregnant women and children, they couldn't consume tap water. And we proposed these membranes having the objective not only to reach the water quality, of course, this is the main objective, to fulfill with the standards in drinking water quality, and also the target of saving energy by 20% compared to commercial membranes. This is the starting point. It was our dream, let's say. So we started the long-term operation in 2019. And as a conclusion, I'm not going to present the details of all the results during these years in operation, but the conclusion is that we can reach the water quality, and also we have demonstrated an average energy savings roughly 17-18% comparing membranes operating in parallel, exactly in the same conditions, which facilitates that the results can be considered conclusive results and conclusive. In this project, I also want to present and to comment only that we wanted to include other sustainable solutions for the management of the concentrate. This is one of the barriers or the limitations that we find in the acceptance of this kind of membrane-based solutions. And in this case, we have to be creative and innovative, giving nice solutions, sustainable solutions, and viable solutions to the clients, in this case, for the Tenerife municipality. So what we did is to test two strategies for the management of the concentrate. Basically, the concentrate, the problem is the high concentration of nitrate that we have removed from water, as you can imagine. First strategy was based on a circular economy model, is the use of pruning waste in a bioreactors fed by this concentrate to transform nitrate in nitrogen. This strategy is already implemented in some sites in the United States, and we have validated the viability of the solution. And the second strategy, and even more interesting, is the use or gain the beneficial use of this concentrate to be used in the sewer system. We have validated, and the conclusion is that we can mitigate the problems of odors or corrosion, because at the end we are feeding nitrate salts into the sewer, but actually is practice now to control this kind of problems. So let's consider this concentrate not as a problem, but as a possibility to have these benefits in the water cycle. This is the second example that we want to share today with you, is the treatment again of drinking water in Berja, in Almeria, in the south of Spain. Is a very highly stressed in terms of water availability area. We are surrounded by a desert, and the specific problem in this site was the presence of fluoride. It was not a high concentration, but we didn't. This water didn't satisfy the requirements, the standards for drinking water. And again, we operate with industrial size membranes in a pilot plant for the demonstration of in a long-term operation. We validated different models of membranes that already mentioned in previous slides. And again, as conclusion, we can guarantee the water quality in terms of fluoride concentration for these applications. The third example for drinking water, now we have other examples, but we selected this because this is a step forward in terms of scale. This is the Herencia brackish water desalination plant, where we have now, and we are using for the big production of water, these membranes. We made a decision to include them and together, and we have to think, you will see all the logos of municipalities and companies that we are collaborating with, because again, we want to express our gratitude for their support and collaboration in all these activities that you will see today. Well, the membranes are already running, and according to the background and historical data operating with all the membranes, now we can conclude that we have now we are seeing the reduction of pressure that we expected, and also the high quality and the rejection that we are reaching with the clear ultra membranes developed by Aquaporin. If you want to see in the table that we have included some rejection values in percentage for some target compounds like chloride, nitrate, sulfate. Sulfate was the main target compound in this specific application, and magnesium and calcium. So we can say that probably Herencia in Spain is the first large application, full-scale application of Aquaporin, and others are coming very, very soon. Another application is in Denia. Denia is our headquarters for the validation, development of innovative solutions around brackish water treatment treatment solutions, technologies. This is where we launched our innovation center in already 5 years ago, where we have been carrying out activities related to R&D for 10 years already, and is a very nice site to develop and demonstrate water solutions, because there is a big challenge to deal with the feed water that we are treating there, and is very interesting and inspiring for tech guys. Well, what we've done there is to create in one of the racks in operation, we integrate in one of the tubes, in one of the vessels, we have included these membranes in order, again, for the sake of comparison in same conditions, same feed water, etc., to have conclusive results. And these membranes are being compared with other that we are also including with other membrane suppliers. Salt removal, average salt removal that we have tested so far is roughly 95%, and those are the operating conditions that we are using. This is again another long-term validation initiative. Okay, let's move for the second application. Once we have discussed about drinking water and desalination for brackish water, water reuse is one of the now hot topics in the water sector worldwide. In many geographies, we are seeing that a lot of projects are being activated, and specifically in Spain, there are some movements, very interesting movements, because at the end we have to satisfy all the water demands in different activities. Basically, in Spain, we've been focused on agricultural irrigation and industrial use. One of the initiatives that we want to share with you, again, is the municipal wastewater treatment for industrial use. Is the initiatives that we are doing together with the water agency, with Cadasa and the Principado de Asturias in Asturias, in north of Spain. Even the north of Spain is being, with these initiatives, is being prepared for eventually water scarcity situations, where while typically we were more focused in the south or in the north, we are seeing these initiatives. So together with our partners and Aquaporin, in the framework of Free Waste project, and also in a close collaboration, and I also want to express my gratitude in the company, because all these initiatives is very important to be driven not only by the Innovation and Technology Department, by R&D, but also a lot of colleagues in Aqualia have been involved in all the activities, not only in this, but in the rest, engineering, operation, all the people in charge of operation of the services, our delegations, etc. They've done a great job. So in this case, our approach is to have a treatment train, tertiary treatment train, or quaternary, if you wish, treatment train to fulfill different water quality, and using ultrafiltration, nanofiltration, and then reverse osmosis. And today, let's focus on the last step of RO, using Aquaporin. The conductivity in this case is roughly 800 microsiemens, and now we can conclude that we can produce water with very high quality, with lower conductivity than 70 microsiemens in centimeter. Our last application is industry applications in different segments. And today we have selected breweries, and we have a long-term collaboration with Mau San Miguel, is one of the main beer producers in Spain. And thanks to the support again from the European Commission in the Ultimate project, we had the resources to demonstrate also the tertiary treatment. In this case, we wanted to use treated wastewater in the brewery to produce very high quality. Again, a big challenge to produce water to be reused in the cooling towers. So as you can imagine, the standards for the cooling towers are very restrictive. And this is where we validated, again, the Aquaporin membranes. Again, we installed a train of treatment based off NF plus RO with these strategies of blending of the outputs, effluents from the two technologies, and some of the results in terms of rejection of the main parameters. Microbiology is, as you can imagine, is very important for us for this specific application. And just as a conclusion, the resulting permate fulfills the standards for cooling systems with the national regulation and even more restringent standards that internally in Aqualia established to give our clients for these specific applications the best solutions. That's all from our side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Victor, for presenting the results of our collaboration over a number of years. I can see it also already sparked one question to this. We'll come back to that. But first, let me summarize what we have gone through over the last almost 1 hour. So how can the Aquaporin clear membranes help you? Well, you get best-in-class permeability through our membranes, which means reduced feed pressure or higher flow rates. That translates into energy reductions or smaller footprint when you design new small industrial systems because of the higher flow rate. Or you can boost the capacity of existing systems by replacing the membranes, the current membranes, with our membranes with a higher flow. This leads to CAPEX and OPEX savings for you, both in terms of course, electricity consumption, but in CAPEX also you can design your system smaller, maybe use smaller pumps. This is validated by Singapore PUB, who has reduced its energy consumption, as we saw from Jan's presentation, with up to 30% compared to the membranes they use today. And also Victor has just proved here with his presentation that they have seen reductions of energy consumption with up to 20%. In both cases, we also showed that you get a high rejection to contaminants at lower feed pressure. So we lived up to Singapore PUB's strict requirements in terms of the permeate quality. And the same was seen in the presentation from Victor, that we met the permeate quality required and that we could reject different contaminants like fluorides, nitrates, sulfates, etc. With our biomimetic membranes. We also saw reliable long-term performance from our membranes. So all in all, we can help you reuse more water and also meet and report on your ESG requirements. Now we go into the Q&A session. So I kindly ask you to state your questions. Our team behind the scene here will look at your questions and try and pool them so that we can answer all the questions. And those that we cannot answer because of time limitations, we will answer in a mail afterwards. But there's already a question here to Victor. You presented your drinking water cases, and there's a question to slide 33 and 39, if there was any pre-treatment before the reverse osmosis membranes, any softener or other pre-treatment. Maybe you could share your knowledge here.
Yeah, it depends on the source of water. Yes, depending on that, there are some cases we have presented today, actually, some cases where the pre-treatment is limited only to cartridge filters. That's all. And in some other cases, like for example in Denia, there is a train of pre-treatment for preconditioning before that, based on, well, depending on the source of water, but the easiest one or the simplest one is the filtration media and then cartridge filter. So again, the answer is it depends on the water source, Valerie.
Okay, thank you. Another question to you, Victor, is what are the current drinking water prices in Spain in order that people can correlate with the energy savings proposed by using our membranes?
Yeah, well, the answer is it depends on the region. We don't have a common national price, and there are significant, I would say personally, I think that there are significant differences in the price depending on the region. You can take, if you wish, you can take a rough number of €1 per kilometer, but it's not taking in consideration these aspects.
Yeah, and does that also apply for energy prices? Is that also very different across different sites in Spain, or?
Yeah, even in that case, it doesn't depend not only in the geography, but also in the specific electricity supply contract that you have.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Then there's a question to you, Jan, around the SIP that was used for the test that we ran with Singapore PUB.
Mm-hmm. And in general, our membranes, even though they're biomimetic, they can be cleaned as any brackish water membrane. So pH ranges are 1 to 12. And in this particular case, the PUB, the cleaning was part of the assessment. So we did clean after about 30 days or a month, even though there wasn't an actual need for cleaning, but it was part of the plan to test for robustness. So we did not see major changes in permeability or salt passage or anything like that, just simply because the membranes weren't followed to a degree where you would really see that. The cleaning that was performed at that site was a very basic alkaline followed by acidic clean. So we used sodium hydroxide at pH 11, followed by citric acid at pH around 3. And the cleaning cycle for each solution or each chemical is a recirculation, 40 minutes, followed by an hour soak, and then again followed by some recirculation of, I believe, 15 minutes, and then just a flush out.
Great. Thank you. Then we have another question for you, Victor. In your reuse application that you presented, is the outlet conductivity constant, or is it very variable depending on the inlet conductivity?
Well, we have a certain variability in the conductivity impacted by the feed, the conductivity in the feed, but I wouldn't say that are significant. It's pretty stable. The deviation in the average conductivity in the resulting permeate is quite stable.
Yeah. Okay. We also have another question for you, Victor. All of the examples that you showed, are you using conventional RO hardware, or are any of them using higher efficiency CCRO, for example?
All of them in that regard are very conventional, very traditional. No.
Yeah. I think also we should look at the difference here. CCRO, of course, is delivering very high recovery, but also very high rejection. But at the same time, you also have a very high energy consumption. So what we are trying to promote here with our membranes is a high rejection membrane, but with a higher flow, where you actually save money on your energy consumption because of the lower feed pressure needed. Then we have a question here. Are there any limits in the TDS of the water that can be treated? More specifically, is use of seawater RO membranes an option? So maybe Jan, you can give a general reply to that.
Sure. In general, there is no limit to TDS as such. Of course, it's a matter of permeate quality, and then whatever rejection your, in this case, brackish water membrane can deliver. So, but obviously there are natural or logical limits where you would move from a brackish water to a seawater membrane. So I think in our cases, usually salinities up to 5 grams per liter is usually the common range, where if you go much higher, then usually your rejections aren't sufficient in a single pass system to then achieve the permeate qualities. So seawater membrane currently are not part of our portfolio because we simply haven't fully developed or launched products. But stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
No promises, but stay tuned.
Great. Any other questions? We have one more now here. In slide number 38, why is the rejection of nitrate only 77.6%? That must be to you, Victor.
38. Oh yeah. Well, in that application in Indonesia, actually is one of the main objectives. But for some reason, the values that I had access, it seems to be too low. So it could be a mistake. 77, it sounds very low for nitrates, because our experience in other applications, specifically for nitrate, the rejection is much higher than that.
Great, thank you. We will check that and then update the slides if there was a mistake when we share the slides with you guys. Then we have a question on what is the restrictions on oxidant, Jan?
Now you're calling on my memory, and I would have to look up the specific numbers. But for chlorine and any oxidant in general, we do recommend and advise to remove any free chlorine, for example, or any other oxidants before using a membrane. They have what's also standard tolerance of 1,000 or even longer ppm hours. That's something we have validated, but still they are as susceptible to free chlorine or any other oxidant as your standard or conventional membrane. At the same time, they're not more susceptible to oxidation because, the way our technology is incorporated, the aquaporins are encapsulated in their secure vesicle polymer environment and also embedded in the polyamide. So remove any oxidants before, as you would with any other membrane. For hydrogen peroxide, that's not so commonly used in the applications where we are, so I cannot give you an exact number. We know that our membranes can tolerate it to some degree, again, similar or the same as competitor products when we do some side-by-side evaluation.
I think maybe a question I often get, Jan, that is, what about the protein itself? Is there a lifetime on that? Is it shorter or longer than the membrane itself? And also, is the protein leaching? You already mentioned that it's captured in the polyamide layer, but maybe you can just put a few words on that, because that's often the concern I hear from new clients. What does this protein do, and is it stable?
Yeah, so sure. What does it do? It's supposed to transport water, and we see that in the permeability feedback of our products. They are very high, and it's the combination of the Aquaporin technology, Aquaporin Inside technology, and of course also our knowledge on chemistry, how to make a membrane and how to make it thin but still stable, and all these considerations. So a lot of time went into the development of this core technology, designing vesicles that can hold the aquaporin protein, but also keep them active. So active means they do function. They're not alive or anything, but they do transport water in that environment. So we made sure that that actually works, and then that is incorporated into the polyamide film, into the actual polyamide layer, which is a dense cross-linked polyamide layer. So there is no theoretical or practical way to release these aquaporins from the membrane unless you would oxidize the membrane to a degree that the entire polyamide layer it will be destroyed. So in terms of lifetime, we don't have any indication and we don't have any belief that the protein will become inactive before the membrane is fouled or needs to be replaced.
Okay. Great. Just maybe to mention that the protein itself is super efficient in transporting water. 1 gram of the protein can transport 700 liters of water per second. So what does it do for our membrane? Well, we have already said to you, it gives a very high permeability. So that means higher flow at the same pressure, or the same flow at less feed pressure. That is basically, to boil it down, the main benefits you get with a comparable rejection to other membranes. Then we have another, maybe last question to Victor on the Herentia case. Are you using any antiscalant of any chemicals for that site?
Yeah, fortunately, as Maser and Aqualia in charge of the operation of this plant, we have a lot of experience with that. So we have optimized the use of reagents there. So of course, yes, we do. We add antiscalants. You have to take into account that this is brackish water for the removal specifically for sulfate. So it's necessary to use that. And also, I also have the opportunity to stress that having this reference already in operation in Herencia, I think roughly the numbers of the production of drinking water during 2023 it was in total roughly 400,000 cubic of hour produced using these membranes already.
Okay, thank you very much. With this, I would like to again thank you very much, Victor, for taking part and co-present with us. It's been a real pleasure here for us to have you on board to share your joint experiences working with our membranes in Spain. I'd also like to thank Singapore PUB that we also have as a very strong partner, where we have still lots of projects lined up. Then, of course, I'd like to thank the team behind, those you can't see, but I have a full-fledged team sitting here behind the screen who has helped us set up this webinar, but also to promote it. The last figures here shows enormous amount of participants. We are very pleased with that. So I think that indicates a genuine interest in our technology. And we will, of course, be happy to share more information about the technology. So please feel free to reach out to me or through our website to get data sheets, brochures, case stories, user manuals, etc. But also to have a discussion on how you can become a partner of Aquaporin. We will share the presentation by mail together with answers on all the questions. We have also recorded the webinar, so if you would want to have the recording, please write to me on the mail that you see here, and then we will organize that you can have a recording. It's a pretty heavy file, so we will transfer it in a different way. With that, I would like to say thank you very much and enjoy the day, and especially thank you for those participating very early morning from Americas, but also for those of you in Asia where it's already very late. Thank you very much. Enjoy the day.